Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 6 of my series booking Pro Wrestling Guerrilla here on Total Extreme Wrestling 2020. I hope you are all doing well and we are here today for PWG cleanup on aisle 5 here on Sunday, week 1 of June 2021. We are coming hot off the heels of last month's DDT4 tag team tournament, which saw the new tag team of Violence Kingdom, consisting of Brody King and Jeff Cobb, win the tournament and also win the vacant PWG World Tag Team Championships. Another major occurrence from last month's show was Leo Rush pinning Bandido in the first round of the tournament, and we will see tonight Leo Rush challenge Bandido for the PWG World Heavyweight Championship, as the Luchador will look to make his third defense of the title. So with no further ado, let's get into today's show. In our opening contest, Black Truce defeats Jude London in 10 minutes and 1 second by pinfall with an Infernal Suplex. The match was 56 rated, Black Truce had a 54, while Jude London was really off his game and got a 45. This match is a continuation from an angle that happened at DDT4 last month, in which Paris De Silva, Jude London's teammate in the Velocities, got a surprise roll-up victory over Black Truce in the first round of DDT4. Unfortunately for the Velocities, Black Truce was not best pleased about this and took out his frustrations on Paris De Silva in a post-match attack, which obviously put the Velocities at a disadvantage going into the second round, where they were eventually eliminated. Jude London would have been looking to get some retribution for his partner tonight, but unfortunately Black Truce was a little too much for Jude London to handle. This was the bout that I set to steal the show, as our product requires, but unfortunately it may have backfired a little bit, with Jude London being really off his game, only getting a 45 when I know that he is capable of much higher than that. Anyhow, we will move along to our second match of the night, which sees Caveman Ugg defeat Aaron Solo in 10 minutes and 12 seconds by pinfall with a Splash Mountain's Edge. 51 rated match. Unfortunately, the crowd was not particularly thrilled to see Aaron Solo wrestle. Maybe if it had been a random person off the street called Adam Solo, they would have appreciated it more. Caveman Ugg with a 54 to Aaron's 36. Of course, in real life, we've seen Aaron join QT Marshall's new heel stable in AEW, but unfortunately, the PWG faithful here in the Globe Theatre is not so kind to him. Unfortunately, based off of his lackluster performance tonight, I'm not sure he'll be back in the future. Moving on to our third match of the night. In a 64 rated match, Chris Dickinson defeats Alexander Hammerstein in 14 minutes and 42 seconds by pinfall with a Liger Bomb. Chris Dickinson had a 60, while Hammerstein had a 55. This is a match which is actually set to happen in real life in New Jersey for Global Syndicate Wrestling on March 22nd. The show, Catalyst, will air live on Fight TV. I think it'll be a really good match in real life, and I'm glad to see it do so well here in the game. 64 rated, I'm very happy with that. Dickinson has been on quite the roll here in 2021, ever since returning to PWG, and one has to consider, could he be next in line to challenge for the PWG World Heavyweight Championship? But there's also the flirtations, if you will, between Chris Dickinson and Jonathan Gresham. We've seen Dickinson and Gresham lend each other a helping hand in each other's matches over the last couple of months, and we'll have to see what happens later tonight in Gresham's match. Will Dickinson get involved there? Hammerstein, on the other hand, is now 0-2 in PWG. He debuted last month at DDT4, losing to Jacob Fatu, and now has lost to Dickinson as well. So no doubt he will be looking to get things back on track very soon. Moving on to our next bout. In a 53 rated match, Flamito defeats Jordan Oliver in 15 minutes and 14 seconds by pinfall with a Fly Flame. I simply cannot hide my disappointment with this performance. Flamito was really off his game and only got a 47, so that would mean his last two singles matches being tonight against Jordan Oliver and at All-Star Weekend 2 months ago against Dragon Lee. He has severely disappointed. Jordan Oliver, on the other hand, had a 49, and I know he's also capable of more than that, so this has been not a good night for either man. Unfortunately, only a 53. I think we'll just leave this one behind and move on to the next match of the night, which was a 62 rated match, as Pagano and Dragon Bane and El Hijo de Canis Lupus, which I've now renamed to their correct tag team name thanks to a comment from Callum. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this because I know that I will not do well. They defeat the trio of Jonathan Gresham and Aussie Open. Of course, we saw this match take place 2 months ago. Also during that match, we saw Dickinson lend a hand to the winning team by attacking Pagano. But tonight, no Dickinson to be seen, and the Luchador trio managed to get a victory against Gresham and Aussie Open. So even more questions remain over the relationship between Chris Dickinson and Jonathan Gresham, and I'm sure there is plenty of unfinished business between the 6 men here in this match. 62 rated match, Pagano had a 42, which is unideal given that we gave him the win. El Hijo de Canis Lupus with a 50, Dragon Bane with a 42, Mark Davis with a 57, Carl Fletcher with a 54, and Jonathan Gresham with a 75. In Pagano's defense, he was really off his game. Moving on to our next match here tonight, in a 70 rated match, Dragon Lee defeats Rey Horus in 19 minutes and 50 seconds by pinfall. Unfortunately, there was very little drama or flow, as no one in the ring had the psychology to take control properly. That is quite disheartening to see, but what is not disheartening at all is that now that Rey Horus has his new gimmick, which he's already getting better at, he's up to a 70 rated performance. Prior to the switch, he was getting around the mid 50s, and I really thought he was better than that, but I didn't realise that his awful gimmick would be limiting him so much that he could jump up by 15 odd points with a simple gimmick change. So I'm really happy to see this. Dragon Lee, of course, we know how good he is, 80 rating for him. It's hard to not sit here and wonder how much better this match could have been without that psychology penalty, but even still, an 80 rated match, a 70 rated match is probably higher than I was expecting, so I'm still very happy with that. Then moving on to one of our 2 main event matches in a 6-man tag, a huge 6-man tag. The Lucha Brothers return to PWG to team with Laredo Kid, where they are unsuccessful against the trio of Violence Kingdom, Brody King and Jeff Cobb, as well as Jacob Fatu, after Fatu pins Laredo Kid with Samoan drop after 19 minutes and 34 seconds. This was a 77 rated match, which ties our highest match ever, which was Kenta versus Dragon Lee at DDT4 last month. Jeff Cobb had a 65, Fatu had a 65, Brody King up to a 62. We talked last month about needing to see some better performances out of Brody King, and to see him get into the 60s is a refreshing sight. Of course, we all know how great the Lucha Brothers are. Rey Fenix with an 80 and Pentagon with a 72. That is fantastic, the 2 best performers in the match. And Laredo Kid had a 57 in his own right, so you know you've done well when Laredo Kid is the worst person in a match. But up next will be our main event, Bandido attempting his 3rd defense of the PWG World Heavyweight Championship against Leo Rush. Of course, last month at DDT4 we saw Leo Rush pin Bandido in the first round of the tournament. Will Leo Rush be able to make it 2 wins out of 2 against Bandido? The answer is no, as Bandido makes his 3rd defense of the title in 20 minutes and 3 seconds by pinfall with a Revolution Fly. This gets a 75 rating, which I'm so happy to see. The best defense of Bandido's reign. Bandido gets an 89 rated performance. That's incredible. The highest rated performance I think we've seen in the series. I was impressed with Dragon Lee getting an 80 just 2 matches ago or 3 matches ago, and now we see Bandido bust out an 89. Leo Rush unfortunately only with a 60 despite their great chemistry. I really thought Leo Rush would get a better performance than that, but 75 rated match, can't complain whatsoever. Bandido's reign is amazing. First he gets a great match out of Jeff Cobb, who was dealing with a broken forearm and only got a 48 as I recall. Then he had another good match against Tony Deppen, and now a 75, the best of his reign. And I have no doubts that his reign will continue to churn out good matches. As the show looks to be ending, Bandido stands tall with his title, celebrating with the crowd, who rejoice in the brilliance of their champion. However, the lights suddenly go out, and with all the flashing lights from the audience's phone, we can see 3 hooded figures enter the ring and beat down Bandido. The lights come back on, and the 3 hooded men stand tall over Bandido, and slowly, in unison, all move their hands towards their faces to remove their masks. And when they unmask, there is an audible gasp from the audience, because the 3 men who took out Bandido after the main event were Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, and the cleaner, Kenny Omega. The Bullet Club have returned to PWG, and it looks like Kenny Omega, the belt collector, has his eyes set on the top dog. 59 rated segment there. Unfortunately, Kenny Omega's cleaner gimmick has got an initial rating of poor, which is really unfortunate, but at least Gallows and Anderson both received great and very good, respectively. That puts an end to PWG Clean Up on Aisle 5. The show is 66 rated, which I believe is our highest. I'm very happy to see that. I'm so happy with how our best 3 matches went. Dragon Lee defeating Rey Horus, Fatu and Violence Kingdom defeating Laredo Kid and the Lucha Brothers, and then Bandido defending the title against Lio Rush. Of course, for me personally, the biggest thing to celebrate from this show is having Kenny Omega. I'm ecstatic, and given how he returned to PWG attacking Bandido, I think it's pretty clear what match is coming very, very soon. But for our speech here tonight, I will have to give plaudits to Bandido for his 89 rated performance, as well as Dragon Lee, because he had an 80 as well. And then I think I'm just going to give Kenny some congratulations as well to hopefully raise his spirits a little bit after his cleaner gimmick got rated as poor. Bandido was very happy, Dragon Lee was pleased, and Kenny Omega seemed pleased. Back on the home screen now, we see that the feedback for PWG cleanup on aisle 5 was awesome. I would fully agree with that assessment. We also see Sonny Kiss seems set to leave AEW, so that might be someone to consider bringing in. I think Sonny has a very athletic and unique skill set, and I think will definitely be someone who I consider bringing in the future. If we go look at our highest rated matches one more time, we can see if that 6-man tag officially gets the highest rated match, as I sit here in confusion trying to figure out. Here it is, it's literally where my mouse was. As you can tell, I'm pro at this game. Oh, look at that, the 6-man tag team match loses the tiebreaker to Kento versus Dragon Lee, so officially our second highest rated match. Then also our new third highest rated match is Bandido versus Lio Rush. So all in all, I would say cleanup on aisle 5 was a smashing success. And I can confirm, barring any injuries that occur or any scheduling issues, the main event of our next show will be the Bullet Club of Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson and Kenny Omega, taking on the Mexa squad of Flamito, Bandido and Rey Horus. If you enjoyed today's episode, consider leaving a like. Leave a comment telling me what you thought of the show. I'm so happy with how it went, and I'm so excited to have Kenny Omega here, and the prospect of all the great matches that he could have with the roster we've built up here in PWG. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Also check out NLG's PWG series, which I have a link for the playlist in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.